check. We'll talk about that. Talk about that in a second. Let a few of you get in here. I got to back up the camera. Hang on. Not for you Periscope and YouTube people. No matter what I do, O'Neill does not want his face seen. That's what's up. Okay. Let's wind this up again. Yes. I get excited every time I do this. That might sound ridiculous, but it's true.
And now, here's a guy who has to have a pork chop tied around his neck to get the dogs to play with him.
You'd keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
It's the Eric Zane Show Podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. I gotta add some different ones of those. I've been real lazy on that. There's about a million things I have to do. Hello to you all. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show Podcast from the beautiful Back Alley Comedy Club studio. Feeling less fat. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I mean by that. This keto diet makes it so you're not hungry as much. Because when you murder the carbs all the time, it starts a vicious cycle in your body. Your body's like, oh God, now I need more carbs. Now I need more. Give me more. And then you end up overeating on these nutritionally horrible foods. But yesterday, you won't believe it, I had a couple pieces of leftover ham. I made like a meat grilled cheese. I took some pieces of ham, put it down in the fryer, put some cheese on top of that, and then a couple more pieces of this is like spiral ham that you cook in the oven for like 5 days, you know, like on Christmas or Easter. And then I got it all warm, and then I just like ate it like a ham steak. That was my lunch. That was it. And then later on in the day, I had a leftover 8-ounce steak in the fridge, seasoned perfectly. There's some real things you can tricks you can do to make your steak taste great, even though it's a garbage piece of leather steak. It's all about seasoning it, marinating it, cooking it when it's at room temperature, not like right out of the fridge, letting it sit for several minutes before you dig into it. These are all things that you, little Eric Zane Show cooking show tricks, tips. The steak, and then I had a big bowl of vegetables. Ranch dressing, incredibly, is okay. It's an indulgent food, but it's good for keto diets. So that was all I had the whole day. And then I had a eating window. One of the things you got to do if you're doing keto is you got to fast and have an eating window. My eating window is 8 hours. So for 16 hours of a day, I do not eat food. That's an intermittent, I can't even talk, intermittent fast. So, all right, that means I can't eat today. Let's see, when did I eat last? Oh, my God. I think I ate last at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon yesterday, and I feel great. I'm not the least bit hungry. This is what I'm talking about. I should be starving right now. When you don't murder the carbs, you have your appetite is decreased. There's a bunch more of interesting science that goes to this. I'll have you look up on your own for your homework project. But I had who was it? one of the Zaniacs suggested I do the weight loss challenge again. And I don't want to do that because that means I have to log all this stuff, and I can't unless somebody wants to do it for me. Somebody did it in the past back on my old show. Andrea. Was it Andrea? I forget. No, it wasn't Andrea. But, yeah, I can't do it myself. If somebody wants to do it, they're more than welcome. Then I can just log in my weight. But I am full bore on the train. Gone several days in a row now with success, and that's kind of like snowballing. I feel really good about that. Heard from Throat/Dale this morning. I'll get into that story in just a second, as well as how I stabbed my hand yesterday. My God. You can barely see it, but it's there. Stabbed my hand with a screwdriver. Joe Martinez already knows about this story. First of all, the show comes to you from the Back Alley Comedy Club studio with Josh Blue putting the cerebral in cerebral palsy. January 25th at Back Alley Comedy Club in Muskegon at Sherman Bowling Center for 2 shows. You can check out that show. You can also check out the Creeps with Kids show January 18th, a week or so before that, at the Emerald Theater in Detroit. Get your tickets online at creepswithkids.com. Thank you for being part of the show. So I just got off the phone with Throat/Dale, and yesterday we had a great time doing Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia. I don't yet want to reveal what happened in that in case you haven't checked that out on Patreon. But we did draw another name when we were done playing. And I drew the name. It was Kevin, who he comes to a lot of my events. He does a lot of the he does a lot of the paintball things. And so I go, all right, Dale, you're playing a guy named Kevin. I know him. You don't know him, but it'll be great next week. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Okay, see you later, Zane. I'm off. I'm off to do something that is not involving drug dealing. So Dale and his better half, Sarah, leave. And by the way, she's just as pretty as a picture. She is she's definitely not the first. She's not number one in my world, as you know. The Temptress is number one. Most attractive woman on the planet. I mean, she makes my heart go pitter-patter every time I see her. Sarah is just a beauty, though. Absolutely pretty. So Dale comes in here and then he leaves. And then this morning I'm prepping for the show. And my phone rings. Actually, it was a text. Hey, I got a small world thing I got to tell you about. And I'm like, I can't right now. I'm prepping. I woke up late. So then I had an extra minute because I had to make another cup of coffee. So I go, all right, I'll take care of this now. Because Dale is the most hyper person on the planet. If you ever call Dale on the phone, this is the conversation. You know how like on a speakerphone, sometimes if you both talk at the same time, if the other person is talking first, they won't hear what you're saying because they're talking? That's how it is with Dale. So the only way you can get in a word is if you actually have them on the handset and not on the speakerphone on your mobile phone. No one says portable phone. What an idiot. God. So, but I've got him on speaker, and he's extremely excited. And hey, you won't believe it, small world thing. Oh my God, I'm over here cleaning the bowling alley because one of the things he does when he in his superior cleaning is he cleans. I think it's Spectrum lanes. So Dale is cleaning Spectrum lanes. This is a daily thing from it's one of his accounts. And a guy walks up to him and says, hey, Dale, I'm playing you in trivia on Monday. It's Kevin. And Dale's like, well, first of all, he says, hey, are you Dale? And Dale thinks it's like, a guy from his past life, and he's already ready to strangle the guy. And he's like, what? I don't owe you any money. Or, oh, my God, no, I'm not dealing drugs anymore. No, I'm Kevin. I'm playing you in trivia on Monday of next week. Is it Monday? Might be Tuesday. I don't know. Anyway, and Dale can't believe it. Now, Dale stands out in a crowd because of that voice. It cuts through the world. I mean, if Dale speaks and you're in a room of 100 people, you're going to go, wait, what? And you're going to kind of radar out on it. Where's that coming from? Okay. It's coming from the MMA guy with the tattoos all over his body. That's Dale. So Kevin picked him out from a crowd. The guy that we just drew his name, and Dale was blown away by this. You see, Kevin's is an awesome bowler, a really good bowler. He bowls, I think his average is like 230, 240 a game. So Kevin happened to be for a morning bowling tournament, I don't know, at the bowling alley, and then he saw Dale, and then so that was the big small world thing. Dale was blown away by this. He had to tell me. So that's who Dale will take on in Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia coming up next week. If you want to play the game, if you want to see the game, you got to let me know. First of all, you got to be on Patreon. Second of all, you got to let me know that you want to play. And then you got to get Skype on your mobile device or your tablet or your computer, whatever it may be. All right. Yesterday was weird, and I wanted to get this thing that was slowing me down, this little part of my plumbing system, but I don't have it with me. I don't want to walk away from the camera and interrupt everything. But this is how the day went yesterday. I noticed from early on in the day that my sump pump was going off a lot. Now, if it's raining nonstop, that thing will go off every 15, 20 seconds as the water fills up in the area where the sump pump is. So, water is running off of the house, going into the gutters and into the tiles, which then gets finds its home in that hole there, and then the sump pump throws it out away from the house. This is simple. This is the way it always is. Everybody's got this. But I was perplexed because it hadn't been a ton of moisture. Why is it going off every 30 seconds? I go down there, and what I notice is when the pump ejects the water up that pipe and out of the house, that I can hear it falling back down after it's done blowing it out. And I can't figure out what's going on. I don't have any skill in this. So my first thought is the pump's going bad. So I called Joe Martinez, and he's like, what? He goes, just change out the pump. And I go, no, are you sure I can do it? He goes, I'm sure you can do it. Just go take a look at it. So I go down there. I take the cover off the well, and I'm looking down in it, and it's doing what I just described to you, and I'm intimidated as shit. And I'm like, I don't know, Dale, it looks pretty jacked. Because maybe it's just blocked. Maybe the pump is blocked with, debris. I put my hand in there, water's ice cold. No, nothing, man. It's not working. So, all right. I go, well, let me look into this more. Maybe I'll wrap my mind around this problem. I'll be able to figure it out on my own, Dale. Famous last words, So then I call my neighbor, Chris, and I go, Chris, is your well filling up? He goes, no, it's pretty normal. It trickles in. Normal water around the house is, but it's nothing major. And he goes, maybe your, I think it's called a catch valve. He goes, maybe your catch valve is bad. I go, English, Chris, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He goes, yeah. There's a, are you looking at that pipe that goes straight up out of the house where the water goes up? I go, yeah. He goes, well, after that starts going up there's a catch valve there. And what that does is when the water goes up, it's a one-way valve where the water goes through, and then it closes so that the water doesn't fall back down. You probably got a bad valve. I go, all right, great. So what do I do? He goes, oh, well, it's pretty easy fix. You just got to, you see those screws there, and there's some couplers on the top and the bottom of it made of rubber. Yeah, I see those. Yeah, you got to loosen those, and then you got to put a new catch valve in it. Like, all right. He goes, but it might just be stuck. If it's stuck, you're in good shape. And then you just, it might buy you some time until you got to replace that thing, but check it out. And I go, all right, I will. So I unplug the sump pump. All right? And this is where it gets hilarious. Now, I noticed the second that I unplug the sump pump that the well is filling up quickly. I have limited time to do this. So I unscrew these. They're like these, what are they called? These clamps. And you screw them and they get tighter. You turn the screw and they get tighter, and they're all the way around this piece of rubber. So I unscrew them all quickly, and then as I'm removing the rubber couplers to get at this valve, as I do that, the pump turns on. And you're like, wait, you unplugged the pump. I had forgotten I've got a backup pump installed there. So the backup pump thinks that my house is flooding. Now, this backup pump does not need electricity. It's a contraption that is a safety valve that in case I lose power, which I pulled the plug, but in case you lose, electricity because of a storm or whatever, your basement won't flood. And what this device does is it does it by water pressure. It puts a gallon of water into the pump, and then it sucks 2 gallons out. So you'll never flood. And it doesn't, it's loud and ugly, but it works. Well, it works all right, because remember when I said I've got that valve off? Well, the fucking pump goes off. And then, this was high pressure hose right in my face. I got my winter coat on. I got all my clothes on. My phone's in my pocket. And it's going. And I'm trying to stop it, and it's like I have caused this problem. So I'm trying to put the fucking thing back on, and it's going everywhere. And I can't. It was like that scene in the Titanic when the water comes shooting through the portal windows. Oh God, no! And it's everywhere. Oh my God! Holy crap! So I'm I'm drenched from. It's so cold. It's taking my breath away. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. It's hit me in the face. It's everywhere. If there had been video of this, it would have been so great. It was like I pulled a prank on myself because I was sitting there playing with that thing, and then I didn't have that valve completely off, so it wasn't like the water had a wide area to travel through. It was like it was an area of like when you put your thumb over the end of a hose, because like I said, I didn't quite have that thing off, and then. When that pump kicked on, it was everywhere, and it was spraying the whole basement. I'm like, motherfucker, what am I doing wrong? So then I managed to get the fucking thing back on. I'm like, oh shit, and it's not tight or anything, so it's leaking all over the place. I'm like, all right, and I turned the screws on those clamps, and I put it all back together, but the damage is done. I'm like soaking wet. There's water everywhere, all over this. The mechanical room of the house. So then I plug the pump back in, and the pump immediately turns on because the water level is so much higher than it wants to be. I've got the 2 pumps going. The water level in the quickly goes down, and I'm just standing there like, what the hell did I just do? So I call up Joe, and he's laughing his ass off. I go, you fucker, you made me do this shit. You knew what you were doing, didn't you? You knew what you were doing. So I'm like, all right, come over. You got to come over. He goes, well, can you wait till, can you wait till tomorrow, senor? And I go, he goes, because he's like, I'm going to bend you over the piñata if you make me come out there right now. And I go, all right. Well, will it be okay if that, because right now the electric pump does work, but like I said, the water's coming back in, so it's going on, and I'm worried about it failing. And he goes, you'll be fine. And then I change my clothes, I regroup, and then I'm like, I think I got a way I can fix this. So I call him back. I go, I'm going to try it again. And I can hear him trying to hold his laughter in. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I'm like, I got a plan. So my plan was, you know how that backup pump will not turn on until the water, like if I unplug the electric pump, the backup pump won't turn on if the water level stays low. As soon as it gets high, the backup's going to turn on. And I go, I've got a portable pump. I'm going to put the portable pump. I figured this shit out. I was successful. I'm going to put the portable pump in that well. Of course, a hose attached to it, and take it through the basement and out the window. And then I'm going to turn that portable pump on, and the water level is going to stay low. It will not engage the backup. And then I'm going to change out this check valve. That's what I'm going to do. Went to Lowe's, bought a check valve, put all this thing into motion, and it friggin' worked like a charm. I was so proud of myself. However, I was screwing on those clamps, and my hand was in a bad spot, and boy, I stabbed my hand. Of course, I stabbed my hand. I stabbed my hand with that screwdriver. Oh, my God. Diana's like, Eric, are you bleeding? There's blood over here. Are you bleeding? Yes. It's like my dad. You know how my dad hurts himself all the time? And Joanne's like, Rob, you're awfully quiet. It's like when I smashed my hand with that hammer when I was on that roof up in Grayling. Diana's like, Eric, why'd the pounding stop? Did you hurt yourself? Yeah. Fuck. Yes, I did. Holy shit. So I stabbed my hand. It wasn't that terrible. By the time I thought I was going to die. I'm such a wuss. Oh, my gosh. So I put it back together, and I took the portable pump out. I'm like, yes, spick and span. I did it. I was so stoked about that. So then I reached out to Martinez. I go, dude, I did it. I freaking was successful. And he's like, I figured you'd figure it out over time. It's like, well, you give me a lot of benefit of the doubt there because I didn't think I was going to get it. Worked out. I did, however, in a disgusting turn of events, notice that when I never go down in this part of the house. My friggin' cats have been using portions of the basement as a cat box, so that's not good. So I went upstairs. I go, hey, good news, bad news. Do you want the bad to Diana? You want the bad news first or the good news? She goes, bad news. I go, all right, the cats have been using the basement as a bathroom. So the walls have to be scrubbed. They've been spraying all over the place. It looks like they've been doing it for like 35 years. The whole bathroom, the whole basement needs to be redone. Oh, okay, great. What's the good news? Yeah, I replaced the valve. She goes, that doesn't add up. The bad news is worse than the good news. Bullshit. You have no idea what I went through. This was some serious. I'm seriously proud of this, considering where I was in this story when the backup pump went on. It was doing a bukkake job right in my face. Whew. Man. All right, so I might be calling Bennett Flooring Installation about new carpet if I can't get the cat urine soaked carpet to be somewhat of a salvage job. Bennett Flooring Installation online at bennettflooringinstallation.com. Reach out to them and get an estimate. Okay, Bennett Flooring Installation. Go to their website and reach out to them. In fact, I thought I had the number down because I don't have it yet memorized, and I apologize for that. And I'm not going to search for it. Anyway, you can get more information at bennettflooringinstallation.com. If you mention the show, let's say they give you an estimate, and you say, I want a laminate in this room, and I want carpet in this room. How much is this going to cost? And they give you the estimate, and then you're like, all right, Eric Zane Show sent me. I believe that'll be 10% off. They do that. BennettFlooringInstallation.com, and they provide the $25 cash prize for Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia. BennettFlooringInstallation.com, or click on their logo on the sponsor scroll of EricZaneShow.com. Also, key sponsor, Next Level Arms. It's time for you gun folks like me to up your gun game. Don't go buying some poverty rifle and then mod it up thinking that that'll do the trick. It's not. It's going to suck. Don't retrofit your gun. Just get a out-of-the-box awesome AR-15 from Next Level Arms. NextLevelArms.com, Jenison, Michigan-based company where they take basically the pieces of steel and aluminum, cut them, and mill them, and take those parts, and they build high-quality AR-15s. If you're a gun guy, nextlevelarms.com. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. Go to their website, check out what they got. They got a whole bunch of accessories and shit like that on there. It's awesome. Nextlevelarms.com. Thank you. I've got a new job, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the process of signing a deal with a new sports. Well, they're not a new sports team. They've been around for like 5 years. The West Michigan Ironmen play arena football in Muskegon, Michigan, at L.C. Walker Arena. This is another one of those secrets that shouldn't be a secret, but they needed a PA guy, and they reached out to me, so I am the new PA guy for the West Michigan Ironmen. They play a schedule in the early spring. Well, actually, all throughout the spring. I'll have dates for you. And we've also, in addition to them hiring me as their PA guy, we are now partners. So they sponsor me on this show, and I sponsor them. So they'll be all over my website. I'll be talking about their games here in the podcast. They'll have my banner up at L.C. Walker Arena. And you can come see me and see the games for the West Michigan Ironmen. I'm really, really happy with how this went, and I'm very, very thankful that they reached out to me because, you know, as much as I love doing podcasting and radio work, man, I have so much fun being part of these franchises and engaging with fans. So I am blessed that they sought me out. Thank you to those folks over there. That is a terrific organization that are trying to be really, really embedded in the West Michigan community. Not just Muskegon. Muskegon's awesome, but they want it to be even bigger than that. So to partner up with marketing plans between the two entities, this podcast and them, hopefully we'll be able to move the meters for both this podcast and the West Michigan Ironmen. I'm going to post a picture of me with General Manager Nate from the West Michigan Ironmen a little bit later on. They've got a great, man, I'll tell you what, and they gave me like a really nice hoodie sweatshirt. Their logo is sweet. So be looking for announcements via social media about my affiliation with the West Michigan Ironmen. Made a trip out there yesterday, and it was great. Really, really fun. I cannot wait for that. I always loved arena football. When going to the Rampage games, holy crap. You have the elements of hockey because of the size of the venue that you're playing in, but, there's no glass separating the fans from the players. And so I'm not saying you go and you knife the players or anything like that. I'm just saying it adds a different level when there's no barrier between the fans and the players. And it's a shit-kicking good time. So I am really, really stoked about being part of their organization. Thank you for reaching out. There is a racist bitch in West Michigan who is, wow, I am just shocked at this one. Some months ago, there was a story about some guy, African-American dude, who is working at a car dealership in West Michigan. Was it Borgman? I'm not sure which one it was. But he's making a living selling cars, and he's really affable and friendly, and everybody loves the guy. And his day started months ago with some lady who wanted to trade in her car and get one of their newer used cars. So, all right, that's pretty much the way he's done business forever. So she presents the car, and they go and they get a price that they would give her on trade. Well, she wasn't happy with that. Rather than just, well, no, I was hoping to get more, and them being like, well, sorry, that's all we can give, and then she leave, which is how most people would operate in this scenario. She flips out and starts calling him the N-word, and I'm not sure if she actually hit him or went to hit him or what, but this behavior was witnessed, and she ended up getting arrested and was charged with ethnic intimidation, which is a lot worse than just, any other I guess, simple misdemeanor assault charge. When you throw an ethnic intimidation behind it, it can really affect the person who is accused of doing things, and they can get a much harsher sentence, I guess, if they're found guilty. So ethnic intimidation is a hell of a lot more of a charge than anything else. So she was facing an ethnic intimidation charge, and to you and me, it sounds like ethnic intimidation to me. I mean, you look at a black guy, you're calling him F and N word, and you're hitting the guy. That sounds like ethnic intimidation to me. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. Well, turns out the judge, who is now get in all sorts of shit from the public. My God, he said this is not ethnic intimidation. So this is the story.
A judge's decision that a white woman's assault and racial tirade against an African-American man was not ethnic intimidation is sparking controversy. The trial and verdict today was covered by 24-Hour News 8's Barton Dieters, and tonight he brings us some of the reaction. Barton.
Leon, reaction is coming in here, and there have been calls made to the courthouse about the decision. The defense did not deny that the Berry County woman assaulted the victim or that she used the N-word while doing it.
Wow.
But they said her reaction was because of frustration over a lowball offer to her traded, not racism. The judge agreed.
We understand that you used racist comments, and we can understand that because you got a lowball offer. That's what he's saying. Holy shit.
I was in shock, and then she proceeded to call me repeatedly. And as in the midst of all that, all I did was I put my hands up like this to block her from hitting me.
Judge Paul Sullivan said the behavior was reprehensible, but did not meet the standard for ethnic intimidation.
What?
And again, we have to look at
What do
this
you have to do? Kill a guy?
as to how the victim construed it,
Hold on, I want to make sure.
and how the defendant.
Repeatedly.
This is the judge.
And as in the midst of all that, all I did was I put my hands up like this to block her from hitting me.
Judge Paul Sullivan said the behavior was reprehensible, but did not meet the standard for ethnic intimidation.
And again, we have to look at this not as to how the victim construed it, but how the defendant meant it.
He found Shelley Lynn Hickle guilty of misdemeanor
What the hell does
assault,
that mean?
but not the 2-year ethnic intimidation felony.
But is there any part of you that can really understand how a not guilty verdict was reached in this?
This is the guy who was attacked.
No. No. No.
No, he needs to say what's on his mind. He needs to say, yeah, you got a white cracker judge whose side he's no doubt a racist because he's siding with this crazy bitch who, while I was trying to make a living, called me the N-word repeatedly and hit me. How the hell is this not ethnic intimidation? You know, it takes a lot to, because, you know, as I've indicated here in the show, I like to keep it real, and it's going to take, you really need to prove a point that something is racist in nature with me for me to accept that, and I accept this. This is absolutely ethnic intimidation. How can it not be?
Defendant rushed out of the courthouse, and the defense attorney did not want to talk. But Clee Jackson, president of the Greater Grand Rapids NAACP, is to.
All right, now you got this guy. Now this guy's a handful, Clee Jackson. He's gonna lay it on thick here and probably take way too long to describe what's going on.
Disturbed.
It's irresponsible for Judge Sullivan to have allowed this.
Slow down. Take longer to say this.
This young lady to walk out of that courtroom and not be charged with ethnic intimidation.
This is what I hate about Clee. I wish he would just say, yeah, this crazy white bitch should be in jail, and that's the end of it. Instead, he's,
And said if the tables
probably good that I don't advise him on how to talk.
were turned and it was a black man assaulting and using comparable language against a white woman, there would be immediate and severe, even deadly consequences for the attacker. Jackson said
I don't know about that, Clee.
Hickle's decision to use racial language was intentional and intended to have an impact based on the race of the person she was attacking.
Yes, that's true.
Jackson said this is proof that there are 2 tiers in criminal justice system, one for privileged whites and another for everyone else.
See, Judge, see what you did? Now he's using the P word, privileged again. This is how this goes. Now, thanks a lot, Judge, you stupid fuck. How the fuck did you let this happen? Now we've got Klee doing this.
Our estimation and opinion, it reeks of supremacy and white supremacy.
Yeah, it's white supremacy. See what you did, Judge? You got Klee saying this is white supremacy. Now it swings back the other way. You've given him the opportunity to say that because of your stupid decision, you dumb fuck.
Jackson said the victim could turn to civil court for justice here. Hickel will be back in circuit court in February, where she faces sentencing on the assault charge that carries a maximum sentence of 93 days in jail. In studio, Barton Dieters, News 8.
How the hell is this a thing? I as much as I hate to say it, I'm siding with Klee here to some degree, and of course I'm siding with the defendant. This is bullshit in its purest sense. I cannot believe this crazy bitch is not getting a felony conviction for ethnic intimidation. What do you have to do for ethnic intimidation? Come on. This is horrible. It's New Year's Eve. It's time for Franco's Pizza, home of the 18-inch one topping, which feeds 4 to 5 for $14 all day, every day. Planning to stay home for this New Year's Eve and here in West Michigan? You might want to call on Franco's. They're open at 11 a.m. for lunch. They close at 1:30. Then they start it all over again at 4 p.m. for dinner. Franco's Pizza, francosgr.com is their website. Thanks to them for sponsoring the show. While I'm at it, Blue Frost IT, online at bluefrostit.com. Call them at 616-280-550. I've been working two ends here trying to get people in my network to reach out to Blue Frost IT for them to take care of all of their internet technology needs. 616-280-550. If you work for someone or you own a business, don't have everything go to hell on the IT side of things. If you are in business, the last thing you want to have to do is try to fix your computer woes. That is tricky. Okay, it could be anything from viruses to updating your software to the thing just blows up on you. If the backup plan is only just, unhook my machine and take it over to the Geek Squad, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. 616-280-550 for Blue Frost IT. All right. Some asshole decided to abandon a dog at a park not far from where we live right here, right now. Some lady goes into a porta-john, and the dog is tied up inside of the porta-john. Now, can you imagine that she's opening the door, and she's like, oh, God! But it was freezing cold. The dog was was going to die. There was no food, no water. Some asshole decided to lock up the dog inside of the porta-john. Hold on a second here. What just connected to me? I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted. Some asshole decided to hook the dog up to the porta-john. Listen to this one.
Room in Ottawa County. What she found not only alarmed her, it sent her looking for help. News 8's Donovan Long is with us in studio with this story all new tonight. Donovan.
Leon, a woman stumbled upon this dog right behind me early this morning, but after seeing how he was living, she knew she could not pass up an opportunity to make a difference.
Here, come on. Ready?
John and Jennifer Newenberg have only known each other for just hours.
I don't know about you, but when I hear a dog squeaking the squeaker, it always cracks me up. I don't know. It might drive you nuts, but this dog loves squeaking his squeaky thing.
Show him your toy.
Yet their chemistry suggests otherwise.
Can you show him? Show him. Drop it. Good boy. Sit.
The pair met to...
This dog is full of energy. This dog is lucky as hell because he looks like he was not abandoned at all.
Today inside the Harbor Humane Society, a place that gives John an escape from his past.
There he was in a porta potty, in a crate that was zip tied.
rescue John a human angel. She says the woman found him when she stopped for a bathroom break at Polkton Township Sheridan Park this morning.
It's tough, but you know, John's doing great here. He's happy. He's
The dog's called John.
really, really great dog.
Jennifer says John's angel didn't identify any signs of physical abuse, but figured he needed a lot of TLC.
He seems to be in pretty good shape, and he's in good spirits.
yeah, this
So
dog's-
we're just, we're just keeping an eye on him. And
They are lucky that that lady found the dog so early on before, time passes, the dog starts freezing, losing weight, gets dehydrated. The dog, it appears to have not been in there that long.
Although Jen doesn't know John's age, where he's from, or his real name, she's sure there's a family out there who can love John just like she does.
He's lucky, yeah.
Jennifer tells me John is on a 7-day stray hold, which means he cannot be adopted just yet. This time gives Jen and her team a chance to find John's owners since he was brought to them without a collar. And folks, we should mention that Animal Control is aware of this incident. But Leon, I got to tell you, spending time with John was pretty fascinating. He doesn't act like or look like what he's been through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that they named him John.
Right. There's a whole backstory behind that.
Appropriately named.
Cheerful dog.
All right, Donovan, thank you.
I don't know if it's John Doe, maybe. But I guess what I'm getting at is there are 1,000,001 things you can do with a dog that you cannot take care of anymore. I mean, when it comes to, like, the process of surrendering a dog, I mean, Benny was surrendered in Texas. That actually happened to him. The people who had him said, we can't take care of the dog. Now, he almost died because it was a kill shelter. Thanks to Jackie, the dog's life was saved. O'Neill was actually taken by authorities who they had an idea the dogs were abused. So I guess what I'm getting at is it's remarkable to me that anybody could have the nerve to take the fucking dog and just basically hide it from the world so that it can die a slow, painful, horrible death. If anyone is by chance hearing this story, and hopefully you will because it's made the rounds on the news and in my little corner of the world and probably in other places too, there's something seriously wrong with a person who does this to an animal. And it boggles my fucking mind. It's probably that crazy bitch who was just told she did not commit ethnic intimidation. It's somebody like that. I don't understand how these people walk amongst us. It just doesn't compute how somebody can be that horrible to an animal or a person. It is insane. Bernie Sanders, completely different topic, was doing a town hall yesterday. Check this out. All right, so he's been talking about the whole healthcare thing. And to some certain folks in the world, they are like, yeah, Bernie Sanders is going to make it so I don't have to pay for my health care. Now, I guess it all just depends on what you believe. I personally don't believe that Bernie Sanders would ever get into office and, first of all, make that a reality. And if he did, there would be so many damn strings attached to this damn thing that you would end up paying for it in the long run anyway, either with a healthcare system that's completely bogged down, or with numerous market issues that would be caused because of this so-called forced-upon infrastructure that he'd be creating. As it is right now, people go to the market and they get their insurance. I go to the market and I get my insurance. You buy it, or you get it from your employer. Depending on what plan you get, you've got a deductible. If it's through your employer, a lot of the times you get a deductible every year it seems to go up. Or if you get it through the marketplace, a lot of the times you're going to get a insurance plan like mine where it's got a high deductible. Like I just finished one that had a $7,500 deductible. And the one I got right now is, I think it's $8,900. It's the way of the world. All right, so this chick has a baby, and she's bitching to Bernie Sanders about the cost with having a baby. Listen to how Sanders inadvertently smacks her.
Yes, ma'am. Got a mic?
My baby's 9 months old here, and I'm still paying the hospital bills for him. And we have health insurance. My husband works full-time. Our deductible is $8,700 a year.
Yeah, well, who doesn't? Quit acting like you're special, first of all.
Is this for the birth of the baby?
This baby right here.
What you're paying?
I'm
still paying
him
off the
off.
birth of that baby.
I'm still paying him off.
Okay. Well, he's a beautiful baby. He's worth paying off. But help me out here. Your quote-unquote illness is that you were pregnant and you had a baby. Is that your illness? Okay. And you had a deductible and you had to pay $8,700 for the birth of the baby.
Okay. I like how he says, your illness is you chose to have a baby. Well, guess what? You know what, miss? Babies aren't free. They've always cost money. Quit acting, for God's sake, like this is something you're entitled to. You had them. You pay for them. Tough shit. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? First of all, if it's going to be Medicare for all and you're going to expect somebody to pay for all this shit, it would have to be if something happens to you. Bad accident, cancer, things like that. Not you choosing to have a baby. Sorry, lady, this is the way the world works. You want shit, you got to pay for it. Who the fuck taught her that if you have a baby, someone else should have to pay for it? That is why all of this bullshit drives me up a wall. Why should all of these people in the world have to pay for your baby? Pay for your own fucking baby. My God. Your illness is you had a baby. If I'm her, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. I don't have an illness. I just have a baby. Pay for it. If I don't give a fuck what you do. Have somebody watch the kid and work part-time and pay for the fucking thing. It's the way it goes. Tough shit. All right. Prince Armin, they have they've got gun school. They changed the date to January 19th. That's a Thursday, and January 21st. You want to sign up to get your CPL, go to princearming.com or click on his logo in the sponsor scroll and sign up. It's going to cost you $125. Threads Podcast is the second greatest podcast I've ever heard. Threadspodcast.com. Jason and Ben are hilarious. They do a great job on their show. Check it out, threadspodcast.com. I'd like to point you in the direction of shows, other shows to listen to because, it's not all about me. There are other great shows. Thank you very much. That is threadspodcast.com. So some S-kickers, some shit kickers in northern Michigan decided to pay off a bet. And what you got here is in, I think it's Mecosta County. These guys have a fantasy football league. And they decided to have the loser of the fantasy football league had to pay off a bet in a unique way. And it wasn't like, buy subs for the Super Bowl. The loser of this fantasy football league was punished in a hilarious way from Greenville, Michigan, I guess. Sorry about that. One guy from Greenville lost his fantasy football league. He was forced to wear a dress and stand on a corner holding a sign that says, I suck at fantasy football. That is Hunter Tobey. Hunter Tobey drafted Matt Prater of the Detroit Lions in the second round. The choice, along with drafting a bunch of other Lion players, cost him his chance at doing anything in the fantasy football league. On Saturday, his friends bought the dress from a local thrift store. He was forced to walk around Meyer while his friends chanted throughout the walk. This is like a Joe stunt. He also stood in front of the intersection as cars went by. I couldn't look anyone in the eye, said Tobey. It was very embarrassing. I just wanted it to be over. Ironically, Tobey was the person who came up with the idea for the punishment when the fantasy football league began. His friend Colton won the league instead. I was pretty confident in the beginning of the season, said Dunham. It's just like taking candy away from a baby with these dudes. Toby said he will play again next year, but strategize differently. Yeah, the first thing you do, don't draft Lion players, you big fat dummy. Fantastic. Very, very cool. How come we aren't seeing a story about people protesting that he's dressing up in a woman and he's it's something to do with cross-dressing and that shouldn't be a punishment. He should lose his job, all those other things. I don't know, whatever. All right, I got Patreon coming up in just a little bit. Check me out there. I appreciate you following the show on Twitter, on Periscope, on YouTube as well, and on Facebook. Subscribe to the show, EricZaneShow.com. Enjoy removing the snow. You got snow all over the place here in West Michigan. My God. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.